prospective candidates.
News time is 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Wednesday. Thanks for being with us this morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast. For months now, the DeWitt County Animal Shelter has been under the microscope as staff turnover and understaffing have kept the facility from being fully operational. That is hopefully a thing of the past, says Administrator Tony Harris on the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday. Harris told Regional Radio it has been difficult to balance both the 911 office and the animal shelter, but they are fully staffed with a warden and two part-time staff. However, he admits they are going to make sure they don't need more staff.
Right now, it's a full-time warden that typically works 8 a.m. until 4:30, and 2 part-time kennel assistants, a morning shift and an afternoon into the evening shift. The morning shift is 7 a.m. until noon, and the afternoon shift is 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. Is that going to be adequate? We don't really know at this point. Again, we just got it staffed last week, full staff. So, it's going to take a lot of work to figure out, is this adequate staffing or do we need additional? And I want to back up real quick, and I do have to give public safety credit for their leadership in getting it where it's at today with what we think is appropriate staffing. Megan Myers, her leadership, the chair of public safety, I think she's done a good job to, hasn't been there at the shelter every day, so she's done a lot of work getting it staffed how she thinks it should be staffed. But now with me being out there more day to day, we'll just have to keep an eye on things and see, is this appropriately staffed or do we need additional? And I think it's gonna take a good year, I think, to just figure out where we're at once we get organized and see, do we need more? And what's the budget look like? I was given the budget that started on December 1st, and is this going to be an adequate budget? And that's, we have line items like veterinary care. I don't know previously, how did they deal with that? Just as an example, I had a sick kitten, and under my administration, we're going to deal with those type of things. It's going to require vet care. What they do, previously with those type of calls, I'm not sure, but is that line item for, in the budget for veterinary care, is that going to be adequate? That's some things we're going to have to look at as we move forward throughout the year.
Yeah. Harris believes the shelter is on the right path, but it's going to take some time to get it all the way back. He has been appreciative of the support he's received so far in his time as the administrator. The Bi-Ennial Illinois Youth Survey is set to be administered in early 2024. Tony Kirkman at the Piatt County Mental Health Center indicates this is an every other year assessment of Illinois youth, asking them questions about things like substance abuse, mental health, and emotional health.
Yes. So every 2 years we partner with the schools within DeWitt and Piatt County to work with the University of Illinois. They put on a assessment for all 8th, 10th, and 12th graders and ask them to self-report on issues that are related to family functioning, mental health, and really focuses in on substance and alcohol use of these 8th, 10th, and 12th graders. And so 2024 is when we start again, and we will be working with all of the schools starting in January. And I believe our last school is middle of March that we'll start working with. But it's about a 35-minute process. There's several questions that the students are asked to participate.
According to Kirkman, once the students have taken the survey, the data is compiled into a school district-specific report, then a statewide report, and trends are broken down after that. For him, the trend of teen mental health is concerning and continues to show a growing sense of loneliness among youth.
The most profound issue that I am finding is as it relates to teen mental health. When we look at the data, it's been pretty consistent over the last 6 years. It did spike during the heights of COVID, but it's slowly increasing. Is that our 10th and 12th graders, on average, not every school district, but on average, when we look at a county, the 10th and 12th graders, there is about a 24 to even 30% of these youth that are self-reporting that they have had a suicidal thought within the last year.
Kirkman points out he has not seen a single positive influence that social media has had on the minds of our youth. He believes social media has made teens aware of things good and bad, and it's at an all-time high, something he believes is not a good thing. Get the latest in local news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. A look at local sports is on the way.
Clinton is set to be one of the downstate Illinois' fastest multi-gig cities. That's right, Connexus is thrilled to be building in Clinton the most reliable and fastest internet service, now with residential speeds up to 2.5 gigabytes. Construction continues throughout Clinton, with service currently being installed in the northwest part of town. Fall in love with your internet again with incredible 2.5 gigabyte speed right to your home. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Fiber not available everywhere. Terms and conditions apply.
Centuro is an agronomically effective, trusted nitrification inhibitor for retailers and growers. Lacey Thomas is a technical agronomist with Koch Agronomic Services.
We've had a really good harvest season this year, and so now growers are really focusing on getting their ammonia applications made, and with that, they need to stabilize that application. So we know that nitrogen is one of our most significant investments, and we need to keep it there for as long as possible. And Centuro does a great job with that. So for one, like you said, it's a proven nitrification inhibitor, but we also realize that logistics are huge for our retailers and for our growers. So Centuro, some of the biggest benefits that I see is from a storage perspective. You can stabilize for a very long period of time. We have a very low freeze point. It's non-corrosive, which is a night and day difference from what some of our customers are used to.
Learn more at CenturoWorks.com.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Connexus will provide local, reliable, affordable, and speed-of-light fiber internet to Clinton. Get on the install list now by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Fiber internet is coming to Clinton. Get on the install list now.
With SRN Sports, I'm Michael Harrington. Let's go straight to the NBA scoreboard and the Mavs. Luka Doncic and Dante Exum helped Dallas stay in front of the Lakers on Tuesday night.
The Dallas Mavericks extended their winning streak to 4 with a 127-125 win over the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka Doncic led the Mavs with 33 points, 17 assists. Tim Hardaway Jr. 32 points, but it was an unexpected hero, Dante Exum, who stole the show for the Mavs. Exum had a season-high 26 points, including 7 three-pointers. Mavs scorer Luka Doncic says Exum's performance was huge.
I think tonight was his best game, just simply unbelievable. His pace, his defense, obviously his shooting today. So he's been amazing for us.
Anthony Davis led all scorers with 37 points for the Lakers. LeBron James had 33, while Austin Reeves had 22. Bob Stevens, Dallas.
Elsewhere, it was the Celtics over the Cavaliers 120-113. This is SRN Sports. More NBA tallies from last night. Clippers 119, Kings 99. The Suns over the Warriors 119-116. It was the Nuggets 114 and the Bulls 106. In National Hockey League action yesterday, the Sharks beat Winnipeg by a 2-1 score. Oilers 4, Blackhawks 1. It was the Golden Knights over Calgary 5-4. Seattle 4, Florida 0. Vancouver stopped Tampa Bay 4-1. The rest of your winners include Nashville, the Red Wings, the Penguins, Maple Leafs, and Carolina. The Blues have fired head coach Craig Berube hours after losing 6-4 to the Red Wings. That was the season worst fourth straight loss for the Blues, off to a 13-14-1 start to the season. The 57-year-old Berube guided the Blues to the Stanley Cup Championship in 2019. NFL news: Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert has surgery to repair a broken index finger. He's done for the year. College hoop, number 12 Tennessee beat Georgia Southern. This is SRN Sports.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. In a game heard on WEZC and at DeWittDailyNews.com, the Monticello Sages beat Arthur-Lovington-Atwood-Hammond 42-10 in non-conference high school boys basketball action Tuesday night at the Seaver Center in Monticello. The Sages played Tuesday's game without leading scorer Trey Welter and playing against a winless 1A opponent. A Sages group that has struggled to find consistent offense had a chance to see new players step up, but nobody scored in double figures. Coach Kevin Roy did go deep to his bench early and often. Only junior Ike Young reached 20 minutes played for the Sages. He led all scorers with 9 points and grabbed 6 rebounds. Jack Widener, Ryan Wallen, and Colton Vance each had 6 points apiece. Maddox Quick had 5 points for Monticello on a night when the Knights were not playing particularly physical or stingy defense. The Sages still turned the basketball over 19 times. For Monticello, the Knights' 6% shooting kept those turnovers from hurting. Monticello did dominate the glass, out-rebounding Ala 44-19. The Sages shot 41.5% from the floor and scored 20 points in the paint. Ala drops to 0-8 overall. Monticello goes to 3-4. They will travel to the Comet Sports Boosters Shootout Saturday at 5:30 p.m. to take on Greenville. Hear the action on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Even after perhaps their most disappointing loss of the season, the Green Bay Packers still have an opportunity to make the playoffs, but their margin for error is much narrower. The 6-7 Packers ended a 3-game winning streak in desultory fashion Monday night, falling 24-22 to the New York Giants. Green Bay still would have the NFC's third and final wild-card playoff berth if the season ended today, thanks to various tiebreakers. Atlanta, New Orleans, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and the LA Rams are also 6-7. The Buccaneers visit Lambeau Field on Sunday. There were plenty of issues in every phase that hindered the Packers on Monday. On defense, they allowed the Giants to run wild and failed to get a sack against a team that has allowed a league-high 69 of them. On offense, the Packers turned the ball over on back-to-back possessions and struggled in the red zone. On special teams, the Packers fumbled a punt and missed a 45-yard field goal. But Green Bay still found itself in position to win after Jordan Love's 6-yard touchdown pass to Malik Heath. But the Packers went ahead putting the Packers ahead 22-21 with 1:33 to play. But Tommy DeVito drove the Giants into position for Randy Bullock's 37-yard field goal as time expired. DeVito picked Green Bay's defense apart on that final drive, throwing 4 straight completions, totaling 55 yards. As poorly as the offense played for most of the game, the Packers still managed to score on their final 2 possessions to pull ahead after trailing 21-13 with under 6 minutes left. The Packers allowed 209 yards rushing, the 4th time this season an opponent has run for at least 200 yards. The Packers have given up at least 140 yards rushing in 5 straight games. After not committing a single turnover during a 3-game winning streak, the Packers lost 2 fumbles and threw an interception on Monday. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks hurt his ankle. Wide receiver Jaden Reed was evaluated for a concussion after the game. Coach Matt LaFleur did not have updates regarding either player Tuesday. Cornerback Jerry Alexander missed a 5th straight game. Running back Aaron Jones sat out a 3rd straight game. And linebacker Quay Walker also did not play. The Packers will seek to strengthen their playoff position and damage a rival when they host the Bucs on Sunday. Nikola Jokic was ejected in the second quarter. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was held out in the second half after a collision with Nikola Vucevic, and Jamal Murray did not play at all. However, the rest of the Denver Nuggets picked up the slack. Reggie Jackson scored 25 points, and the shorthanded defending champs held off the Bulls for a 114-106 victory Tuesday night. Michael Porter Jr. had 17 points. Aaron Gordon scored 14 with 7 boards and 6 assists, helping Denver to a gritty second straight win after a 129-122 victory at Atlanta on Monday night. Julian Strother added 16. Jackson made 5 3-pointers as the Nuggets went 14 for 30 from behind the arc. The Nuggets also beat the Bulls 123-101 on November the 4th. Jokic was thrown out for the language he directed toward an official after he felt he was fouled when he missed a reverse layup with 1:12 to play in the first half. The two-time NBA MVP said something in the direction of a referee as he made his way down the court. Jokic was promptly whistled for a technical foul and thrown out by official Musa Dager. Jokic declined to get into further details because he wanted to avoid a fine by the NBA. Mark Lindsay, the crew chief for the referee crew, was also vague when asked about the exchange. Kobe White led Chicago with 27 points, continuing his hot streak. Vucevic finished with 26 and 16 rebounds. The Bulls were coming off a 133-129 overtime loss at Milwaukee Monday night that had stopped a 4-game winning streak. White went 8 of 15 from the floor, including a 5 for 10 performance from 3. He is averaging 26.8 points in his last 5 games. Chicago pulled within 5 on Ayo Dosunmu's jumper with 1:47 left in the third quarter, but Strother made a three-pointer and 2 foul shots to help Denver carry a 92-80 lead into the final period. The Nuggets stayed in control throughout the fourth quarter. Gordon's 3 made it 109-96 with 3:20 left. Already playing without Zach LaVine due to right foot inflammation, the Bulls rested Alex Caruso for a second straight game because of a sprained left ankle. Coach Billy Donovan made it sound as if Caruso could return soon. The Nuggets played without Murray, who had 29 points and 9 rebounds in Monday night's win. Murray has been dealing with a sore right ankle, and he rolled his left ankle in the first quarter against the Hawks. The Bulls are at Miami Thursday night and again Saturday night. Connor McDavid had 2 assists, and the streaky Edmonton Oilers overcame an early goal by rookie Connor Bedard to beat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-1 Tuesday night in the first NHL matchup between the young stars. McDavid, a 3-time MVP, was the top overall pick in 2015. Bedard was the first pick this past summer. Sam Gagner had a goal and an assist in a highly anticipated clash of the Connors, helping the Oilers win their 8th in a row. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Leon Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman scored for Edmonton, and defenseman Evan Bouchard had a pair of assists. Stuart Skinner made 22 saves for his 7th consecutive victory in net. Bedard gave the banged-up Blackhawks a 1-0 lead with his 12th goal, 3:21 into the first, but Chicago lost its 7th consecutive road game. The 18-year-old center scored on the second shot of the night. He took a long pass from Alex Vlasic for a partial breakaway and unleashed a deceptive shot that beat Skinner glove side to the top corner. The Blackhawks are at Seattle on Thursday. Lucas Raymond and Robbie Fabry scored in the third period to lift the Detroit Red Wings over the scuffling St. Louis Blues 6-4 Tuesday night. Soon after their season-worth 4th straight loss, the Blues fired coach Craig Berube, who guided them to their only Stanley Cup championship in 2019. The 57-year-old in his 6th season with St. Louis had a record of .206, 131, and 44. Drew Bannister, coach of the Springfield Thunderbirds of the American Hockey League, has taken over as interim coach. Moritz Seider, Jake Wallman, Jonathan Bergeron, and Michael Rasmussen had goals for the Red Wings, who were 0-2-1 in their last 3. Kevin Hayes scored twice for the Blues, who also got goals from Marco Scandella and Brandon Saad. St. Louis has lost 5 of 6 overall. Raymond tied it at 2 with a power play goal 48 seconds into the third. Fabry put the Red Wings up 5-4 at 6:38 when he scored against his former team, and Rasmussen added an empty netter at 18:21. Villahuso stopped 33 shots in his first game against the Blues since they traded him to Detroit for a third-round pick in July 2022. Jordan Binnington made 26 saves and fell to 8-9-1. St. Louis used 3 second-period goals to go ahead 4-3. Hayes scored twice, 31 seconds apart, giving the Blues a 3-2 lead. He scored at 1:40 when he was in front and deflected in a shot by Nick Leddy. Seider then turned the puck over as Hayes intercepted his pass and scored an unassisted goal at 2:11. Seider made it up for the mistake when he scored at 9:47 to tie the game at 3. Scandella, as stay-home defenseman, scored an unassisted shorthanded goal on a backhander at 16:53. Shane Gostebeer snapped his stick on a one-timer, and Scandella snatched the puck loose, skated in on a breakaway, and scored his first goal of the season. That gave St. Louis an NHL-leading 8 shorthanded goals, one more than the team has on the power play. The Blues went 0 for 2 with the man advantage, dropping to 7 for 83 this season. The only club worse is Washington. It was Scandella's first goal in 32 games. His last one came March 21st at home against Detroit. The Blues host Ottawa on Thursday. Get sports anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com.